Welcome to the bigger play, where the rubber meets the road and we get straight to it. I appreciate everybody who always tapping in. We back with another one, as we do. Bigger play. Quick question. Can love survive without submission and financial stability? Can it? Talk to me and let me know. Can love survive without submission and financial stability? Some people say absolutely. But in reality, in 2025, I heard that it can't. But this the thing. 5-hour discussion. This one, I'm not even going to give you no prelude to it. I'm not going to give you no synopsis. We're going to get right into it because we got some things to address. This most likely going to be a 3-part joint. Maybe 4. That's how serious it got. You better pay attention. You hear me? You better pay attention. But right now, I need you to do me a favor. Answer that question and make it make sense. Can you please do that for me? Can you do that?
And I do believe that any nigga that's overly horny as fuck is gay. Because what the fuck you so horny for, nigga? Like, what else could you want? Like, what else do you need? You need somebody to bend you over and put that. Oh, okay. Oh, because that's what it gives.
You see how in 2025, people say ignorant things where they don't want you to be who you tapped into as you are with your nature. It's that type of rhetoric that these podcasts and these cameras give a person that makes no sense. I know you can't make it make sense. It's giving a man in his natural state. You heard it loud and clear, because this one here moving fast, because we got to get to it. You hear me? For sure, love is not going to survive. That right there not submitting. That type of energy not submitting. Okay? She said that, not me. Make it make sense, because she said that. She said it, I didn't.
Tell you guys how many times I hear I'm filing for divorce because he or she changed. This is just crazy. He or she changed and I'm not happy anymore. Let me tell you why this is crazy. If changing was a justifiable reason for filing for divorce, we're all doomed. Why? Because we're always going to change. People change. You made a vow to stay with someone until death. So you think from the point you got married until death they're going to stay the same person? Now, I'll give you this. They might have changed, and they might have changed into someone you don't like. But I highly, highly doubt that everyone who filed, who claimed their partner has changed, they all changed into just demons. Like, everybody didn't change into a demon. So, just because someone changes and you don't like it, I don't know. Just think about it. I'm not judging you because I'm a married woman myself, and trust me, I've been through a rocky season of my own, a time or two.
Are you sticking in there? Because she said just because they changed don't mean that they all a POS. See, she kept it real. She said that. And she said, I'm in a marriage of my own, and we've been in rocky. So you have to respect that young lady. Are you a POS? Are you fighting for your marriage? Are you staying there? Because people change. She said it, and she kept it real. People literally change. So in 7 years after being committed, after having a lot of fun, after having some type of trauma with family members that may have passed away, you guys are sticking by each other. You got several kids. You're working hard every day. You've been down, she there, she been down, you there. But now all of a sudden somebody changed. And they got that 7-year itch. You know they say you got a 7-year itch. I know that went over your head. You don't know what the 7-year itch is. You want to get back out? She said it, I didn't. It's time to get to the core of this conversation, okay? We talking about submission and finances or love. A lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, poor people still survive without financial stability, right?
Yeah.
Poor people do get married, poor people have kids, poor people raise kids. In fact, some people, this is their baseline, just the up and downs of their finances. It's kind of like an adventure. Listen, I grew up in a place where at times we didn't know where food will come from, right? And sometimes it was a miracle, honestly. Prayer, and then somebody leaves food on your door. Literally miracles, literally. At some point, my brother, who was raising me at the time, he would tell us that we're going to enter time of fasting and prayer. He would be like, hey, guys, we're going to do fasting and prayer as a family for a week. It wasn't until later that he told us he didn't have money to buy food.
Wow.
So we were sitting here, fasting and praying, and in the spirit the whole time, bro, I got no money.
Wow. Wow.
So, coming from that perspective, people then had babies and they had marriages. It's just, that was, their circumstances. So people will continue to get married and have kids, regardless whether or not they have money or not.
You think it's the same now?
In America, yeah, I mean, I drive by trailer parks. They're shacking up. They have babies. They're raising babies. So I don't know. So I mean, again, is it love? All I know is they're doing it. Are they in love? I don't know. I don't know. Is it healthy love? I don't know that either. All I know, people are shacking up, having babies, and raising those babies in poverty.
I think one person is going to eventually get tired of being the financial supporter, because it has to be a reason why why both of y'all is not being financially supporting one another. I think, um, I
Go
think,
ahead. Go ahead.
I think, there's, if it's medical reasons why you cannot be a financial supporter or things of that nature. But if you have a able body and you just not doing it because you don't want to do it, then we're not gonna make it. Sorry, we not having that. You ain't gonna be sitting here playing your game, and I'm out here getting it every day, or
Oh,
even vice versa.
so you're not just spinning up the bag. You got a
No.
bag too, huh? Let me find out. You got a bag over there too. I'm just
Or even vice versa. I'm not gonna have him out here getting it all this time, and then I'm not doing anything either. I think that go both ways.
You think it's been like that all the time, or it just started over the past 50, 60 years?
No, because I remember my grandmother not doing nothing at all. All she had to do was cook for Uncle Charlie, Grandpa Charlie, and make kids and make sure the home was okay. Back in those days that was acceptable.
Yeah, yeah.
This day and age, not being funny, due to everything that's going on, it's even hard to do that.
Yeah, it shifted. It shifted. It's different. It's a lot different now as opposed to 50 back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. It's a lot different now.
Everybody mind frame is different, and from back then, because back then it wasn't a problem for our grandmothers and great grandmothers to have 12 and 13 kids. You look now, it's frowned upon, and you got that many, and who's taking care now is the question. Is who taking care of them? But back in the day, that wasn't a question of who
Yeah,
taking care of them.
it was huge families, and it's crazy because a lot of our families was very big. My mom got 7, 8 brothers and sisters together, and so do my dad. The family is huge, but when it come to us, it just get broke. My mom, I got 2 brothers that passed away, and I got a brother that's alive, and I got a sister. Well, two brothers that's alive and a sister that's alive. But one of my brothers, we got different moms. But as far as my mom, she had a few of my sisters. She younger, she got three, but it's not like the 10 and the 9 that they had, 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so
You know, that was
But
normal.
everything is so expensive now to even have kids. Like the economy's changed. Like, I mean, bread isn't like 50 cents
yeah,
anymore. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's different. I still think we supposed to figure out ways to facilitate. I don't know if I like small families. Like I don't know. I think it's selfish if you have only one child. I think that's selfish. I don't know if you should just be going around creating, just reckless. But I don't
right.
know if people really want to be by themselves like that. I love my
Well, it is
huh?
selfish. It is a selfish, I can speak on that because I did only have one child. Like my daughter's 23, I had her at 21. Um, so when I had her at 21, um, I was selfish at that moment. And when I had her, I was like, wow, everything is for her. Like nothing is for me anymore. And this is hard and this is expensive. I mean, I'm coming home, lights are off. You know what I mean? I'm getting notices on my door. I'm living check to check. Like this is hard work. So I was selfish in the sense of like, I was also responsibly selfish. Like, I'm not going to bring another child when it's so hard to raise this one. I never knew, you know what I mean, how expensive it was. And yeah, and so I knew responsibly that I wasn't going to live off the government. And I knew that I wasn't just going to have a bunch of kids because not only does she need financial stability, she needs my love and
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So even though I wanted more kids, like I wanted 3 kids.
You
Like that
did
was my
want
thing.
more.
Oh, I did. I definitely did. But like I said, my selfishness kicked in and all of that. I was like, oh, this is for the birds, is what I was like. This is a lot, dude. Like I'm daycare. I'm like going to work and I'm a worker. Like I cannot not work. You know what I'm saying? I've been working since I was like
So you
14.
like
I
being
mean, my
active.
mom owned a business. Yeah, I was at the cash register like slave labor at like 14, you know what I mean? At my mom's store and at her dry cleaners. Like we were working, right? So, yeah. So I'm just saying, like I was always working. I mean, I bagged groceries at the commissary when I was like 16, you know what I mean? Like I always wanted to work and make money. When I knew you could work and make money, I was addicted. I was like, "Oh, this is it, man." I mean, how easy is this to make money? I was like, this is awesome. So yeah. And so like I was not gonna stay at home. No. Even if a man told me you can stay at home and have kids, and I would be like, yeah, I'm not that woman, right? Like I don't want to do it. So
You developed that when you was younger.
yeah, when I touched money, when the first time I knew how to make money, I was like, oh,
It was over. It was over from there, huh?
it was over. Oh, I like this. I like this. I need to make more of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's necessary in order to thrive and survive. You're gonna need that because the bills have to get paid.
Hey, this. On a serious note, I know we're all chilling tonight, but I get curious. Those of you who don't know me, I am a curious person. So I asked Google, right? Your prompt. I asked Google your prompt. I asked, what rate financial is the reason for divorce, right? Well, out of 10 divorces, 4 of them were divorced because of money issues.
So
So
do that mean what that means? 50-50?
it means about 40%. 40% were divorced because of money, because of financial instability.
Do you think those people really love each other if they divorcing because of those reasons?
I think some of them do love each other, but the problem is the disagreements when it comes to money. You know that verse, and this is why I feel like money play more than we think. You know, the love of money is the root of all evil, right? I could love you, but could I love money more?
So if you really love me and you love the money more, do you really love me?
Absolutely not.
So the money.
Uh,
It's the money.
And that's the problem we have. In the West, people love money more. It's, I mean, look on social media. Did you just do a social media thing a couple of days ago? Everybody just wants to flash. I mean, you are flashy right now. Look at you. You got that something. I mean, if you can afford it, you can afford it. But there are people out here who are flashy and they cannot even afford it. They rent this stuff. Am I wrong? Somebody come in and help me out.
How you doing, Tech Force? Angelita, for you, the Bears Den, Lake Arrington. If you guys want to chime in, you can.
what up? What up? What up?
What's up, man? How you feeling out there?
Heading to the crib.
Okay, okay. Lake Arrington, how you doing? Miss Angelita, for you, how you doing?
What up, man?
Good.
How you doing? Y'all doing okay?
Good, good. Good to be back on this thing, man.
What you think about can love survive without financial stability?
Nah,
Dang.
nah. Not today.
Talk to us. Tell us how y'all feel.
Uh,
My buddy up top says she through with me. I ain't got no money. She says it's over.
I think I think the problem is I came up in a two-parent household. My mother married my father. My father was making $4.76 an hour at
Wow.
the shipyard in Newport News, Virginia, and she stayed with him. So I think a lot of times I'm about to say something that's probably gonna piss everybody off.
No, speak your mind, brother.
I think it's a cultural thing. Um, I think uh, I think our sisters want to see us make it after we get to the finish line. I think other cultures invest in us, and then we make it across the finish line together. I think the problem is that if we could stop and just bond together and work together, we could do it. But then the sisters got a beautiful argument. They say if they hang in there with a black man, get him straight, get him to the point where he's financially straight, he often leaves her. I've seen that too. So it's tough, man. But either way, you gotta have stability. A woman is not gonna stay with you if she don't feel like she got no stability, man. It's just what it is, bro. It's tough, but that's what it is.
So you think it changed since you said your mom was and your pops was for that $4? You think at a time it shifted somewhere?
I think the fact of the matter is I don't think it shifted because we make enough money. I just think um social media and everything has carried it so much that, like she said with you come with the shades, you know what I'm saying, got the beard going on, fitted, got a little jewelry, smoking a cigar, got the pinky ring on, you chilling. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's tough, man. It's depending on the woman, man. Some women, they want that flashiness, but some women are so simple. They don't want much. So it really was what you picking, man, and what got going on, man. It's tough either way, man. But it's tough when they don't want you for you. That's when it hurts. When they don't want you for you. You don't know if it's the money, you don't know if it's you. And you saying to yourself, if that money run out, is she gonna run out? Ah, hey host, if the money run out, is she gonna run out? Or if you got dudes around you that make good money, is she in their face?
It's rough, bro.
It's tough, baby. It's tough, baby.
It's not even that. It's not even the money issue because if you can still make that person feel safe and still make that person feel protected, make that person still feel like even though you might have money problems, but make that person feel like they don't have the money problems, I think it would be okay. As long as,
How can you do that if you got
as
money
long as
problems?
you're trying,
If
huh?
you can
I
tell
said, how
me how
can
you
you
do
do it if
that,
you got money
please.
problems?
Yeah, please explain that. If you could teach me that right now, I'll learn it.
You
It's called work. It's called working together. I don't always expect you to always. I don't expect you just because you a man to always remain on top. I understand that things happen. So if you fall, I got you. Same way, if I fall, you gonna have me.
Yeah, you a minority.
yeah, you
You a
different.
minority. You're a
Yeah, well,
minority.
I
And I
feel the
hate to
same
say
way
this,
that she feels too,
but
yeah,
Monica,
but
you a
it's
minority.
also about not living. It's also about not living above your means. You know, a lot of people live above their means. You know what I'm saying? You can't live in luxury if you are living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, you've got to be able to like $20, $40, $40, you know?
We got some good women on the panel, host.
Hold on,
Yeah,
let's see.
exactly.
Yeah.
There ain't a lot of women out there like that. Most women out here, they will leave you if your money goes down. They're not supportive and they're not going to be there. I mean, it's just the way it is right now. I mean, finances is a lot in a relationship because most women want that security. And when that security goes away, they feel like everything is it's in turmoil. And that turns into nagging and complaining and you're just trying to figure it out.
Hey, host. Hey, they say a woman get when she fall in love the first time with a man, she's there for love. After that, if that's a bad breakup, after that, it's for stability. She can learn to love him after that. It's for money now. She
But
wants to be taken
I,
care of.
I wanted to add something on to that. To me,
Go
a
ahead, Miss
man,
London.
a man should be able to tell in the beginning whether he working with a real woman or not. That's gonna hold him down.
Whoa, whoa,
Real
whoa.
stuff go down. Just like me as a woman, I in the beginning can tell if you as a man you just want me for intimacy or you really want to be with me. It's certain things that you should vet that person to see before you get to that marriage state or before you overly invest in that individual. Just like I've always been the type of woman, if you take care of me, I'm going to take care of you. Pay attention to a woman response when you've been there for her, you've been doing for her. How does she act when you do certain things for her, or when she see that she can depend on you? Does she respond back by taking care of you? Does she respond back? When I say taking care of you, I don't mean spend no money on you, but just considering your health as a man, your emotional state, really caring about you, asking, do you need anything, and making sure you straight. How does she respond when you do for her? Because I've always been the type of lady, if you take care of me, I'm going to take care of you. But my taking care of you may be different in how you take care of me, but at the end of the day, we're both going to benefit and be okay.
First of all, that's phenomenal. Second of all, where is she from? Third of all,
I was going to say the same thing. We got to figure these ladies out because these ladies might be on it. Is you ladies telling us the truth?
Honey, this the real deal Holyfield. And
Yeah.
to be honest, a lot of women, I'm gonna say real women, not somebody that's just trying to use you, okay? A lot of real women are like that. They will be there for a man who is there for them, just like this Southern Soul artist, young guy. And his song, he said, if you treat her good, she always gonna treat you better. That's the truth with a lot of women. If you take care of them, they will take care of you. It's just that simple.
where they at, man? Hey, host, where they
Well,
at, though?
you know,
Where
here's
they
the
at?
thing. I agree 100% what she's saying. And
Where they at?
a lot of women are actually truly like that. You know what I mean? They actually really want to be like that. They're just kind of blinded by the facade of what it is, you know, so they've kind of turned their back on what they truly do want is to
Oh
be
my
a good
God.
woman and to be secure, you know, and to be loved.
Hey,
Right.
hey, host. These
We
women.
gotta find them.
Hey, listen, host. These women get up every day, go to work, go to gym, go home. We don't see them. They ain't nowhere to be
Right.
found.
Yeah.
I can't find
Us
them. We looking
women, us being
for.
outside. Go ahead, Ted. Go ahead, Tech Force.
I'm just saying we looking for them because they don't. They don't seem to be the minority. The majority of women that we hear about or see or deal with, that's not how they think. The first thing they lead with, even like if you're trying to date nowadays, the first thing they lead with is how much money you finna spend on me on this date. They don't care about
But what are
anything
you
else but
attracted to though? Are you going for the
it's
norm? Are you going for the body wise of attraction? Because what are you attracted
doesn't
to?
matter.
It does. That
It
does
doesn't
matter.
matter.
That does
I'm
matter.
telling you, you might think
That
that,
matters.
but you can be going with a wholesome church girl, and the first thing that's gonna come out her mouth, it's amazing. It wouldn't be any kind of TikToks out here of gold digging women and all of this stuff if it didn't exist. It's the majority. It's not a lot of women that's like the women that's on this panel. I can tell you that, and I've married a couple of them. They'll seem like they're all on your side when the money's good. As soon as things go down, they're not in your corner anymore because
Right,
now they're looking at
right.
their stability go away.
Remember, right? There's nothing new under the sun. Remember Job from the Bible? I guess I'm bringing the Bible
Yep.
tonight. Everything was cool, right? When the money was there and the ladies were there, the children are playing in the yard. But once things start going south, even his friends abandon him. So human nature, human heart, it's questionable.
Not everybody's going to have that
Okay. Hey,
that
so
that
host,
humble approach to the relationship.
let's play devil. Let's,
Monica,
let's play devil's advocate. A lot of the women, hey host, a lot of the women make more money than the guys these days. So a lot of times the men have a problem with them because they making more money than the guy. So how the stability supposed to be in that too when the woman is pushing harder than the guy's pushing? Her check is way more than he is. Now what?
But it should be a togetherness. It doesn't matter who's making more. It's the combined what's going in the house. Say the woman's making 80, the man's making 30. Do the math, making 40, whatever. So the combined total together is what you should be looking at, not individually what's being brought in. What are we bringing in together as a yearly income? What are we making monthly together? We both have to survive. We both have to eat. We both have to be clothed, right? We both have to have this shared responsibility. So it shouldn't be in the sense of who's bringing in more. When it comes to that, sometimes egotistically, right, people feel a little bit some type of way. You know what I mean? A man can feel some type of inferiorness of a woman being more of the breadwinner in that sense.
Right.
But it is her job to make sure that he never feels that. You know what I mean? That he is still above in the sense of in the leadership role, right? Meaning he could be in control of the finances in that sense if he's good at finances. Now, not all men are. In my position, I am terrible at finances. Do not allow me to control the money. It will be gone. It will be spent. I have to be on a budget and I make more money in the house. But he tells me, dude, you cannot keep spending that money like that. You cannot have Starbucks every single day. You cannot eat Whole Foods every single day. Like, let's be more better, right? And so, yes, he controls it, right? Because I need that. If I didn't
even
have
though
that, we both.
hold on. Even though it's your money, let me understand what you're saying. Even though it's your money, you allow him to have control over it.
You better believe it because we would be broke. I would be
This
broke.
conversation over.
Yeah,
She too
we
good.
we
She too
wouldn't have
good.
nothing. We wouldn't have nothing. You know what I mean? He makes sure we have something. We have
How long did
savings.
you have to grow to be like that, or you been like that, or you had to grow to be like that?
I had to grow to be like that because when I was younger in that sense, my money was my money. You couldn't tell me nothing. You know what I mean? If I wanted to go buy a $300 purse or shoes, you know what I mean? I'd go buy it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I wasn't doing things right that way, right?
What
A
helped you
300,
change? Was it him or was it you, or both?
not making money and not letting my money work for me. You know what I mean? When I seen the amount of money I was pulling in and that I didn't have nothing to really show for it, that's when I was like, what am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? Like it was a mental thing, right? Because I just didn't see the value in money But when I was taught how to make money grow, that's what makes it better.
Well, I agree. That's the dynamic that it should be, but majority, that's not what happens. Like, I have a whole saying, if a man wins the lottery, when he wins the lottery, what he tries to do is he tries to make his wife or his girlfriend life more easier or better. When a woman wins the lottery, she wants to try to find somebody on her level. Now that guy is beneath her because he doesn't make a certain amount of money. She doesn't want to see him laying on the couch or around the house. If we're rich at this point, why should my life be more easier? Because that's what I'm going to try to do for you.
That's what y'all should try to do for each other. For
Exactly.
each other.
What I would say to a man out there who feels like you end up with their short end of the stick, just plan for the worst case scenario, okay? If you feel like there might be a situation where you might not have enough, just have a saving plan, invest. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, same thing. Plan for the worst case scenario. People will disappoint you voluntarily or involuntarily. It's just human nature. Don't give away you feel like you can't lose, right? If you're gonna give something and you feel like you owed something, that's not giving. That's a transaction. So give it and say, I'm giving it out of the goodness of my heart, and let it be. If you get something back, great. If you don't, great. No biggie. That's literally how I live my life.
Things that I focus on more now, and I notice a lot of men focus on. It seems like these days people try to make sure they're not overexerting themselves. Because I've had some men come to me and tell me, well, they was dating a woman and dealing with a woman, and they spent all this money on this woman, helping her, and it didn't go anywhere, or the man was just being used. Just like for me as a woman, I don't want to overexert myself to a man as far as me performing wifey duties for you, and you ain't performing husband duties for me, and we're not heading towards marriage. So I see both parties focusing on it. Men don't want to make sure they're spending out too much money on somebody that's not going to be there, something that's not going to work, and women getting to the point to where they just don't want to do too much for a man, and their energy is not being reciprocated, and it's not going to go anywhere.
That's true.
So that's my focus. I told myself, baby, look, I'm not cooking for nobody, because I'm the type of person I like to cook. I would always cook, and I always had food to fix anybody a plate. I told myself I'm not cooking for nobody that haven't taken me out on no date. I'm not cooking no meals. So I said, that's got to go. Certain things, all this cooking for you and feeding you and saying about your children and all that kind of stuff. If that energy is not being reciprocated, and the goal is not marriage, I don't see the point in overly asserting yourself, man or woman, especially this person have not shown you that they're serious and real about you.
Exactly. Well said. And for the men on this, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, for the men on this panel that's saying that all these women are asking those questions with the finances and leading that, and that's what they're dating with. What needs to be happening is when you're vetting for that woman, you need to be asking the questions of, what are you pulling in yearly? You know what I mean? What are you bringing in here? Because at the end of the day, I know what I'm bringing, right? But what are you bringing? Because at the end, we want a partnership. Here's what we're looking for. I'm not looking for me to be taking care of you, all of that, and financially. At the end of the day, can you pull in what I'm pulling? Can you be equally yoked with me in that sense financially? Right? So if a woman asks you that question, your next question need to be, well, what is your yearly? I'm curious about what you do. You know what I mean? And put it back on that table and see what she says. And if she's like, well, I work at Applebee's. all right, well, you know what? Applebee's isn't going to financially keep me stable. So I'm moving on.
Well, I guess, Monica, I definitely hear that perspective. But, and the men, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've often heard from a lot of men is um, they're just looking for women to be in the role of a woman and that her finances, typically men say that our finances don't really matter as much as what we would think that they do. So they typically don't want us on the equal to be equal with them in finances. And men, there are three men on here. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with a man asking the woman, well, do you bring the same thing to the table or similar to what I'm bringing? Because if we go to the natural order of things, it is the man's job to provide. That has never been the woman's job until we went into the role of feminism and equal rights and all of those different things. That's never been our job. So I'm interested to hear what um what the men have to say about that.
I just
You're
have to
correct.
quickly
You're
rebuttal. I just have to.
Now
Oh,
go ahead.
I have to quickly rebuttal to that because in the sense of what I was meaning, my darling, with it was more on the less of a lot of the men who, well, they were up here before they had said when they complain about it or that's a problem for them when a woman is only worried about the finances, right? If that's the case, they can't be worried about the finances, right? If she asked that question, then they shouldn't be offended by that question, right?
I don't think money should even come up while you're dating anyway. If it's nothing going on seriously, then why are we discussing our finances? Are we trying to move in together? Are we trying to buy something together? If we're not doing none of those things together, your money is your money and my money is my money. Sorry.
Well, I would like to hear what Tech Force. I know he was going to comment, so I would like to hear what he had to say too.
So what I was saying is that most men date down, especially men with money. We date down. And what I mean by that, we're not looking for somebody that's financially in a certain situation. We'll date somebody that works at McDonald's. Women date up, men date down. Um, most women are taught to look for somebody that will be able to provide for them. And in that aspect, you'll see somebody. We don't talk about financing with the woman. We want to make sure that they have a good head on their shoulders, if they have a job, if they have something going on for themselves. But for the most part, we're not talking about finance. Especially if we're getting serious about somebody, we care more about family values. We care more about being equally yoked on that level of what we're looking for in the future, but not finances.
Bears Den, you want to speak to the topic? Lake Arrington, I want to speak, Lake.
Well, I agree with what the man said. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more other things that we're worried about. You know what I'm saying? That we're not worried about necessarily what she makes and everything like that. We worried about is she a good mom? Is she a good woman? Is she respectful? Does she respect herself? Does she support? Is she spiritual? Um, can she listen? Can she exchange power with me? You know what I'm saying? Can she understand when she's wrong? Can she be accountable? Can she apologize? Can she say when she need help? Do she got pride? How strong is her pride? We worried about things more like that. We ain't worried about, you know what I'm saying, if she making 70, 80, 100 grand. Because we understand when they make that much, they either want their equal or they want superior. So, or and to say some of the women lead with their education. They if they got masters, they got bachelors, they got doctorates. They wearing that shit like a band. My bad. They wearing that like a Superman hero, like the emblem or something. So, and we care nothing about your education either. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the money and your education. I don't care. I don't care if you got seven associates from Maryland, Institute of Technology, and you got 3 bachelors, 2 masters, and 1 PhD. I'm glad there was achievements that she wanted to go handle, but as a collective, that's not something that we as men gonna be like, oh snap. You know what I'm saying? That's just not what we're doing.
But let me go back and speak to the actual topic. My opinion is love can actually survive short-term struggles if there's an actual plan to come out of that struggle.
That's
If
true.
there's no plan, that stress or instability is going to cause everything to go wrong. The emotional connection that y'all had together, that shit is over. Oh, excuse my language. That is over.
Nothing else. Just sitting here thinking it. That's it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You good? Go ahead. Go ahead, Bell. Then
Oh, okay. But to actually love somebody deeply, you can still feel drained in those struggles. That'll force y'all to split up. Even the strongest connection will split up because of money instabilities. Them bills gonna become overwhelming. That love gonna go out the window. I'm mad at you. She mad at me. There's no end. There's no end to this. So love has a possibility to weather some storms, but we got to have a plan to get out of this storm. Does that make sense?
yes, sir. To me, it make perfect sense.
Oh, that's perfect sense.
100%. 100%.
That's some good insight.
Now, would you say, Bear, that that's why it takes, you can't have two of a kind running yourself financially into a rut? Somebody's got to be financially disciplined in the relationship, right?
Oh, it definitely has to be opposites. Opposites have to attract.
Right. You can't have two people running the money down and not having any type of financial responsibility.
I heard what you were saying previously. You're exactly right. The good thing is you were able to see it before it got too late.
Yes. Yes, you better believe that, right? And I had to be disciplined, you know what I mean, and submissive in that sense, right? I had to submit to that and to say, you're right, you know what I mean. In a man in your leadership quality, you should be the one that's leading the finances in that sense and be smarter about it, you know. But some instances, women are smarter and handle it, like in my
Yes.
mom and dad situation. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. How long did it actually take you to let yourself submit?
Right away when we got serious, because we were older when we got together. Okay,
Okay.
we were 40 when we got together,
Oh, yeah.
and 42, I was blessed to even have my son. So I have a 2.5-year-old. My
Oh, yeah.
kids
You
are
was late
22
again.
years apart. Yeah, but like I said, before I didn't have my kids earlier because I wasn't financially stable, meaning I wasn't like I didn't want to be broke with a bunch of kids just because I wanted them. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
right now it's cake financially having this son. But I'm older and I'm tired. So it's a balance. It goes
Your
both
patience
ways,
is
right?
thin now.
Yeah, right. And I don't have enough energy, right, for a 2.5-year-old. But I financially can take care of this kid, no problem, right? But like I said, it took me into this relationship to understand that I needed help, right? Like I need help. There's no way that at my age and the amount of money that I've been making all these years, 26 years in dentistry as a hygienist, you know what I mean? I should be like not having tons of money saved, right? I was burning through money because money was coming, right? You know what I mean? Just burning through it, right? Eating out, doing what I want to do, take vacations, spending money just because I had it, right? But realize that wasn't the way to work the money, and and he knew that, you know, so. And he helped me with it, right? And I needed help, and I was okay with that because I was desperate, right? We're getting older. I'm closer to retirement than than younger. You know what I mean? It's time to buckle down.
See, you understand the submission part. When women hear submission, they think slavery, and that's the hard part to try to get to relate a person as your significant other. Is that yeah, you have to submit. It's got to be some. You can't have two people driving the bus. You're not gonna get anywhere.
If I wish women would understand more that submitting actually controls the man.
Yes.
I wish
It does.
I wish they would understand that. I wish they would understand by them submitting, actually, they actually really control the man, even though it
We're
looks
gonna
from the
ask more
outside.
for their insight.
Yeah, so I wish, but I think that's a faith-based thing. So if they don't know anything about that, or been doing that, or it doesn't give a reward. Sometimes I think women are reluctant to do it because they feel like no matter what they do, the outcome is still going to be the same. But if you ever talk to a real submissive woman in her relationship or marriage, she runs that house.
And you're a
Absolutely.
smart man. Yeah, he's a smart man for knowing that. Most men won't even admit that. They see submission and say submission, and I still run this household. She ain't running nothing. At the end of the day, when you know that a submissive woman actually is quietly leading the household, quietly is the key, not outwardly and outlandish, right? Running around with this masculine mentality that we don't really have, right? We shouldn't pull it out. Women are strong in the sense because we can be masculine and feminine all in one. A woman pulls out her masculinity when she feels unsafe, when she feels like she has to pull that out because we have to pull that strength up from somewhere. You know what I mean? We don't like it when a man pulls his feminine side out. Now he's weak, right? We're like, oh, yeah, you don't step into that zone. But when we do it, we just have that ability. But at the end of the day, submissiveness requires strength, right? In the quiet, behind the scenes, right? And then the smart man absolutely knows my woman does run this household, but at the end of the day, I run this household, right? So, yeah.
Were you the same lady last week who said you had a trust fund from your parents? Was that you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, so does your man manage that trust fund for you?
Oh, no. A trust fund, if you know what a trust fund is, a trust is run by like the trust. Like it's who's ever in that trust. My mom is at the top of the trust, right?
Okay.
And my name is there. Yeah.
Okay.
And that trust fund is it is not just given freely to you. You actually have to go into it and you have to like have reasoning between getting the money. It's not just here you go, here's your trust fund, you turn 21.
Okay. I just wanted to double check.
But like you
It's just
said,
the
uh, that was not a lie because men actually have to submit too because of the aggressive nature that we have. You have to be soft for women. So we have to submit the things that we are just to be around women. I don't think they understand that. That actually forces men to be protective and be providers when women are submissive to them.
They actually end up getting more control by being submissive if they would actually know how it works. Because most of the time, if you have a submissive woman, you're going to be asking her opinion more because now that she submit, well, baby, what you think about this? Well, yeah, maybe we should do it that way.
Yeah, and when a woman works and it's like a 50-50 household in that sense, like it's never 50-50, right? It's always a combined shared responsibility in that sense. And at the end of the day, like you have to be able to know you're working for something. Like I said, I'm working and I'm working for something, but I can't let my money just me work for money and not let my money work for me. You know, that's the downfall of it, right? It's like even though, like Thriven was saying, yeah, I know what she was probably trying to say. Yeah, I have this trust fund in that sense, but that's the generational wealth. That's not for me to play with. That's not. They've already said that's not my living. expense. I can't use that money to pay my mortgage, to pay my bills. Like those are things that it's wrapped up in another thing. So I can't count on it as much as I would like to count on it. But me working every day, that's what I have to count on. But my responsibility level as a woman and a wife, I wear very many different hats, right? Just because I work doesn't make me this pure feminist of not knowing how to be a wife. You know what I mean? Take care of the house and take care of my man. That's just me knowing how to work and make money and bring things to the table for us.
I hear a lot of accountability on the stage from the women. You guys seem to have a certain level of accountability and you treat the man a certain way, but I run across a whole bunch of reels and just different things and just put a perspective on how the mentality is the complete opposite of you guys. You guys are speaking towards a different, you coming from a different place with your
A lot of
experience.
maturity on here. That's what it is. A lot of maturity in these women that we have on here.
Because in the real world, it's I mean, you guys living in the real world, but it's a little different out there. Well, it's a lot different.
Say this. Sometimes we say things and it sounds nice, right? But life will be lifing. I've never met a couple who have not encountered difficulties, right? And you have to have a long-term plan, short-term and long-term plan. You have to. Otherwise, you're going to learn the hard way. Yeah, he might make really good money right now. Somebody has a background echo or something too.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to see. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying he might make good money right now, but what if he can't work? What if he gets sick? What if he gets into an accident? What if, God forbid, your house catches on fire? Now you have to start over. What if you lose a child? What if you lose a loved one? What if he loses his best friend? I mean, there's so many things that do happen, and sometimes we act as though, I meet this person, I'm in love, things are looking good, we got our money, we have, these things, but you've got to plan, unfortunately, for the heartaches, and they will happen, right? That's just life. So if we could just say, okay, things are good right now, but what if you can't work? What's the plan? What if I get pregnant and I get sick and I can't work, right? Am I gonna stay at home to nurse and raise our baby, or am I expected to go to work? Could we plan it something better? Maybe downsize here, maybe take on a side gig, maybe save for those 2 3 years for that baby, right? I think the problem is we go into this thing. It's not that love is wrong. It's not that having money is wrong. It's just we don't really do proper planning.
Wow. I like that perspective. I really do. I really like that perspective. Hey, young lady, how you doing? You can speak to the topic if you like.
I'm good, sir. I'm good, sir. I was gonna speak to the submission thing. I, uh, it should be natural. I think one of the men asked Monica how long did it take for her to submit. I think submission, when it's in you, for lack of a better term, it's just a natural thing. It's not something where you're like, okay, it's been, 5 months. I'm getting ready to submit. It's just a natural thing because it's just God's order. That's just how it is. You're supposed to be submissive to your husband. And I wanted to clarify too, for the people who are possibly in the comments, submission doesn't mean that you're a slave. Submission means that there is a head. It doesn't mean that he's not listening to you, but at the end of the day, he makes the ultimate decision because he's responsible for the whole, right? We all have our role, but submission is so important, and I think that it's so missing in our relationships today, and that's why relationships are failing because they're not in their natural order. Women are not supposed to be the leaders, and a lot of women won't step back and allow men to take their rightful place. And so we have this the order is just out of whack. And until that happens, we'll be in situations where we won't be successful because it's not natural. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to say that. Can love survive without financial stability? I think that's what that's saying. Is that
Yes.
okay? Oh no, you can't. No, you got to live, and I think you have to have a plan. Now, I think in a relationship, you're going to have ups and downs. There's ebb and flows. You're going to have those good years, and then you're going to have years maybe where one of you've lost a job or something, and now you're living off of one income. But to me, that's where you plan to ensure that you are financially okay during those times. And to me, that's where the husband steps in to make sure the planning is done. Doesn't mean he's the expert because you may be better at managing the money, but you all have a plan as to what you're going to do to ensure when those rough times come, you're good as a family unit.
I will rebuttal back on your when going back to submission is natural. No, it's no, ma'am, it's not. No, ma'am. When you dating a woman and as a man you're masculine and everything and you want her to submit, she's gonna test you. You're gonna go through some trials and tribulations. She's just not gonna give that up easily. She's gonna challenge you. You're gonna have to prove yourself. You're gonna have to prove yourself in your wisdom. You're gonna have to prove yourself in your leadership. You're gonna have to prove yourself before she says, okay, I'll let him drive. So a lot of times, and that takes maybe a year, almost 2 years for y'all to build that continuity and chemistry for she to know that you got it. It just don't happen naturally. It'll just happen. Any woman up here telling you that they submit to a man off the rip naturally, you're lying.
No, I never said off the rip. No, it's not in the beginning. But for me, just a submissive woman to my man. It's a natural thing for me. It's not something that I'm. Now, you go through dating, right? You go through a situation of you're dating this person and you're vetting, which we talked about yet last night. Vetting this person, it doesn't mean that you're going around doing this, that, and the other. Now, I'm not lying. If I'm in the vetting process, I am being submissive. I am doing duties that a wife would do because at the end of the day, he's vetting, and it just comes natural for me. There is no now. He's not managing my household because we're not in a household, but it's a submission in a different way. So I disagree because it's just natural for me. It's not something that I just have to run into or it comes. It's just a natural thing. Now, how much is submitted to? That's a difference because we're not living in the same household. So you're learning each other. So it's a difference as far as that. But submission, yeah, it's a natural thing. I'm not argumentative. I'm not someone who I give my opinion, but even if I'm in a marriage, I'm supposed to give my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm not submissive because I give my opinion because I push back, but I'm gonna always be respectful. And that is just something that is just natural. So I don't have to work up to that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can agree with that 100%, that we naturally have the ability to submit and naturally be in our womanhood. So cooking and wanting to clean and actually wanting to show a man what type of wife we are going to be up front. We're up front with a lot of that. Sometimes we give it to the wrong man. You know what I mean? And we give it too quickly because we are naturally like that, right? But also, like the gentleman was saying, like, yeah, a man does have to show a woman security a lot of times to get that full submission within her. Yeah, so they do got to work hard in that for us to feel secure, to really truly submit, you know?
Man who gets a full submission from a woman should see that as a treasure. He's uncovered a treasure out of her. Because for a woman to fully surrender to you, right, to fully trust you, to fully submit under you, under your leadership, under your covering, whether spiritual, emotional, financial, whatever it may be, to completely release her control, that is a gift. And I think, like Bible again, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. That's a gift. If you can do that as a man, you are truly blessed, because it is a very difficult thing, right? Especially in the West, where young girls are kicked out of the house. I'm not saying kicked out, but they're released out of the house at age 18, and now they have to fend for themselves, or young men for that matter too. And to relinquish, to fully trust someone, like, you got me, I know you got me, I trust you 100%. It's not an easy thing to do. It's really not an easy thing to do. Yeah, naturally, we're gonna be feminine and we're gonna be nurturing, we're gonna clean and cook and do those things. But to fully give that trust to a man, that one, we even have a hard time trusting God if we believe in Him or
And
her.
that's his and host. That's exactly what I'm talking about. She hit it right on the nail because a lot of times a woman is used to doing her own thing. So in order for her to get under your covering, get under your leadership, to fully trust what you're saying, I mean, walking blind with you, that sometimes take more than just a couple of months or a year or two. That takes a while. So and so that man has his steps has to be ordered by God. She has to understand that he is really getting that knowledge and wisdom from God to want to follow her and follow him and everything. It just does not happen off the rip, or even months and months going down. So I understand what the young lady was saying earlier. Maybe she's basically saying there's levels to it.
There's
I
levels.
I agree with that. But as far as total submission, bruh, like
That is
Father said,
arithmetic.
that is something that you don't see. But when you do see it, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, no one's gonna give you total submission. Just you just met them, like you're just meeting each
No, no,
other.
no. I'm saying even in a year or two or three, that woman is still trying to understand the being led properly anyway. Because even when you lead the woman properly, she's still afraid. She's still scared.
No, like
I want to
I
ask the
don't.
lady. I want to ask the ladies on the panel, if a man is dealing with a woman and he's treating her good and he's decent towards her, but for some reason she won't submit, whether it's his wife, whether it's fiance, or it's a long term relationship. What do you guys take that as you being women? What does that mean?
He doesn't trust them.
But he haven't given her a reason not to trust.
I can
I'm
speak
not talking about. I'm not talking about an unbalanced man. I'm talking about a man that's 70% on his purpose. He focused. He's not perfect because we're not perfect, but he's 70 to 100% on his purpose.
I
What
can
do the
I
ladies?
can
What from the perspective of the ladies? I like to hear each lady tell me what that means when the woman just won't submit. Not even to him, but she just won't submit. Period.
it could be an issue with her upbringing. It could be the way that she was raised, that's associated with some type of vicarious trauma. Usually when a woman is coming in the door and they won't submit and they can't see, they can't seem to recognize that that man is amazing. They're associating him with something that they've experienced before.
Okay, I want the other ladies to speak on that, and then I want to ask another question right after that.
Next, Ash, Anjanita, did I say that right? Did I say that right, Anjanita?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Awesome. No, she's 100% right. When you've lived, and I'm speaking from a place, a woman who had to go through extensive healing journey, right? When you are in a survival mode, right? It's either fight or flight. Sometimes freeze when it's extreme, meaning your nervous system freezes in place. Sometimes when you see grown folk really kind of stuck at a very young age of mindset, right? They're frozen in place because of some kind of trauma. So when somebody suffers compounded trauma, right, over time, addition more from childhood and from teenage years, from relationships, all those things, it can actually put them in that place of frozen, and there's nothing you can do or say to change them. They would have to come to that place of making a decision for themselves. That is not your person. Even if you might love them very much, maybe help them and and tell them what they need to do, but there's nothing you can do. It's the same thing with an addict. When you're dealing with an addict, I mean, you've seen parents who bring their kids home to clean them up. I mean, if you've seen Tyler Perry movies, that's depiction right there. Until somebody makes a decision to really let it go, take off that burden, and fully open up and trust. Trusting, here's how you build trust for someone who's gone through trauma and hard things. Trust is not saying that there's a guarantee that somebody's not going to break my heart, or there's a guarantee that hard things won't come. You build trust because you have overcame. So what that means is you look back and you realize, man, I overcame that and I handle it. I overcome this and I handle it. And then once you get to a place where you're ready to release, you say, you know what? I know how to overcome. So whatever comes, I'm going to trust. I'm gonna meet play. I'm gonna meet, Monica, whatever, and I'm not going to project anything on them. I'm just gonna trust that they're good people, that we're in alignment. And if anything goes wrong, I've been trained. I've been in boot camp to deal with these things. That's how trust comes about. It's not a guarantee. So if you deal with somebody who cannot trust, you might have to pull back a little bit.
Man. The other ladies?
Was your question, what is it when you just can't get a woman to submit, although the man is doing everything that he needs to be doing?
Yes, basically, yeah.
I would say if they've been married for years and he's been doing what he's supposed to be doing for years, and she may just not want him. In the beginning, because me being a single independent woman, um, I haven't ever been in a position in life where I could just really depend on a man. So I understand how at the beginning of marriage, it can take some adjusting for that woman to get used to the fact that she has a partner, a mate there that she can depend on and rely on, and she don't have to be superwoman all the time. But if it's just years and that man been on his job and that woman just won't submit, either she don't want him or she just want to be in control of that marriage or that relationship. Maybe she's just a controlling person and she's just not going to be submissive to a man, because some women view submission as bowing down to a man. They feel like it's making themselves inferior, when really it's not. So to me, it would be between those things.